Good day, it's Rob. Okay, so this is the next video in the Pinterest training course. This is something that I have done in the past for clients and for myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you how to do this next issue from scratch. And I haven't done it for a year or two. And remember, hello, I'm a fibromyalgia person, so if it looks like I'm really stupid, just grin and bear with me. We'll get through this. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm setting up rich pins. Okay, now rich pins are very important because you want people to click on your website. Okay, and a rich pin, when you click on a pin, right? So I'm just going to pick anybody. Let's have a look if this one's got it. A rich pin will give you all of the details from their website here on the pin. Okay, I have no clue if that one's there or not. Let's pick any other one at random. Let's try one that's clearly a Pinterest orientate. Oh, that just took me straight to their site. Good for them. Is it always just going to take me straight to their site? It is. Okay, so don't worry. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you need rich pins set up. Okay, so you can stop watching this if you like and go to YouTube and look how to use the Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T plugin. They will show you how to hook up rich pins through Yoast. I have been 10 years in SEO and I have repeatedly been told not to use the Yoast. And even though there's 10 billion people that love it and people are like sheep, so they tell the next people to use it because it's the best, and then they will always refer to it as the best because they were told to do it. But hardcore search engine optimization people have not agreed that it's the best, and therefore I haven't used it for many years. So sadly, it is a quick and easy way to install it, but then it messes with my website. So on my website, this is how you'd do it, by the way. You'd log into your WordPress. If you're on other places, I can't help you. So again, you can bail on here. In other words, if you're on silly places like Wix or Squarespace, I'm sorry to say you're on your own. I do suggest WordPress, and you're welcome to then do that in whichever way they teach you how. You'd have to go into your Wix or whatever it is and try and sort it out within there, and it probably can be done. You might just send them a help message and say, hi, I want to set up my Wix site for Pinterest rich pins. What I do, and they'll send you an email that runs through it. It's pretty much how you can solve almost anything. In fact, I tried to claim this website. I don't know if you saw it. I might not have mentioned it. I was still hooked up to an old website for Pinterest, my things to make and sell. So I deleted that and I asked to be hooked up to Fibromyalgia Club. And I went to add that because I think you see in the theme options. Yes, I did. I put that in my video, I think. So I went down to theme options here. Sorry for deviating. And I went to... incidentally, when it does this, there's a gremlin, but I know these are here. So I went to integration, I added the code, and I asked them to verify it, and I came back and said, and then I found out I hadn't clicked enabled. So I changed enabled, saved it, asked them to try again, all done. Okay, so now we're back to where you're going to set this up for rich pin. So you go down in your dashboard to plugins, you go to add new, and then here you search for, I think it's WSSO. Let's try that to see what comes up. Okay, fine. Let's try WSSO. Oh my goodness. Okay, so fine. I'm going to type in rich pins. Let them search for that. WPSSO, my bad. Brain fade. Okay, so this is the main one, the core. So you click install now. By the way, it might ask you to come back for local, which if you local, you will add. And there's others. In fact, let's try this now. WPSSO. Because you'll see there are others. So this is the core one we're going to want. But you might want to fiddle with local if you're a local business. Don't touch it if you're not. Pinterest place. You see, that's again, local business, perfect for that, yeah. And then in here is proper breadcrumbs. Now, I have to tell you that you've got to watch out. Some of these are a little bit hectic. At one time for a client, I remember adding all of these. See, rich snippets. So I'm not totally sure, to be very honest. I'm going to start with one. Hey, let's do one at a time. Because I remember doing it for that client and having a huge extra 10-minute headache every time I posted. Now, I felt in the end with that client, sorry for open and honesty here. Sorry, you click activate when you've done install, and then you're going to go down into here and we're going to fiddle with it. At that time, I felt with the client that the extra work that I had caused them. I hate this when I can't see what's happening. Oh, sorry, my bad. It was spinning here. I've got so many things open here. These are already ready for the next video. I'm ahead of myself for a change. Now, remember I told you I don't want to use Yoast. It's because I use W3 Total Cache. And all of the Divi settings themselves are pretty cool from Elegant Themes. Okay, so now down here you can see I've now got WP SSO Core installed, and in here there it is, SSO. You'd go into here and literally, so hey, don't feel scared to do this all without me. You can just stop, go and do it, and then follow it. So for example, there's these kind of things you got to fill in literally as you go. So I've called my website Fibromyalgia Income Job Training. I'm happy with that. The description says Fibromyalgia Income Job Training Opportunities for people who suffer from fibro, lupus, blah, blah, blah. Also cool. Default article setup. I want to put article. Oh. My goodness, this is far too hard for me. So this is actual articles. Let me see if there is anything in here. I'm going to pause this while I double check, so I don't have to panic and rush for you. 1 sec. Okay, I had a look through and I've set it for health for now. I'm not totally sure if that's the right one. And incidentally, if you find that your stuff isn't coming up nicely on the search engines, by the way, these settings are very, very strong in your search engine optimization. So if you do this right, your website should rank comfortably too. Having said that, sorry, I'm going to pause again. I want to show you an email I got this morning. 1 second. Okay, these are Google updates just for the week. Google discourages repetitive use of FAQ, structured data markup. Now, this is totally what's happening right now. You can pause this and read this if you want. This is totally right now what's happening in Google. So it's real. And this is structured data. It's becoming so powerful. And if done correctly, it will affect all sorts of things. If you're going to, for example, run ads through the Google Shopping or ads through Microsoft Bing Shopping channels, these are paid ads. So in other words, if you go to a keyword, let's find one here. So what helps fibromyalgia flare-ups, and then you click the shopping tab, that will go to a product that if you've listed correctly, Google will put you here, number one. Very, very simply, if your structured data is done correctly, which is what we're busy with right here. Okay, so I'm not going to go on for a day, and I really could. I'm suggesting you go through here, you fill in everything you need for this. Okay, your Google details, your Pinterest settings, your Twitter settings. By the way, yesterday I was here, it told me it can't do anything until I've claimed my page, which I've since done. Then there's the actual setup guide. So you'd set all of that up, but then you'd set it up for social accounts, which we would have done. Create a Pinterest business account, done. So it literally tells you what you need to do through this. Now, where we're really getting to is the schema markup, right? So once you've got schema markup, and explain it, by the way, don't listen to me here, read it. And if you don't understand something, research. In reality, it's writing that Google likes to read. In other words, in the schema markup, it's where you are telling Google, where have I gone to here? So for example, you can go to the general settings, you can go to let's see, general settings, so your website name, titles, authorship, videos. Can you see there's also a default? This I still want the one to be okay, so we put this under health, remember? So whether it is going to be, I think health is good for, wow, if I could just get gay sex, no thanks. If it's for you, I'm happy with that, but right now I want health, thanks. Default product category. Okay. My goodness. How cool is this? And no, thank you. So be very careful that you're doing it right, but at the same time, don't panic. Because when all of this is done and you're publishing pins and then you go and see what your pin says, go and have a look at what your pin is pulling from your website. Because all of this rich pins is just there to pull over. It tells you in here, by the way. It's an organic pin format that for product pins, for article pins. By the way, you've got to do any one of those three. So I'm going to try and get there faster for you. Go through all of this, tools and actions. Let's see, tools and actions, image sizes, social pages. Oh, they just want to give me a huge headache. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go to any post I've written. Let's just click all posts for now. I'm going to pause it and I'll be back 1 second. Okay, so this is a post I did to download the freebie, Fight Fibromyalgia Tips. I've already changed that cover. I didn't like it. It's too dark and depressing. After I'd taken an hour to produce that. I've also done very little to make this work. I'm going to change the entire layout of this blog page. In fact, it's going to be in the training. So it's part of, now that I'm fixing my website, because I'm going to start marketing. So this Pinterest training is because I'm going to be actively marketing, not just creating the training. Okay, so having said that, hey, I want people to react properly. So in the training, somewhere down here, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to set up my boards. It might even mean here, categories. Anyway, we'll get to that. Whoa, I've lost wherever I was here. Okay, so this is the thing, the post. Now, when you go to edit the post, it'll get there. It's also on the general training on the fibromyalgia site. Okay, you would go to where you have to complete the details with the Divi layout. There's lots of ways you can look at this. This is, if I'm correct, this is building on the front end. No, not quite. Close enough, though, to building on the front end. I could actually type here. See? Oh, my goodness, let's try not to break it, Rob. So, yeah, I'm building on the front end. But you could fiddle with this. You could click here, and it'll take you to the back end. Either way, it doesn't really matter. What you're looking for is that WPSSO block. So for every page you publish on your website, this is SEO. I'm not going to go into it in huge detail. You've got to, in your SEO, go and check the training. You've got to do the categories correct. You've got to add tags. You must make sure you put a featured image. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, what you have to do, and I haven't done, so please don't judge me. Do as I say. Do not do as I do. I can judge me. I'm not worried about that. Don't be silly. So this is supposed to be very keyword orientated. That's okay, but I could hyphen this and say, find overcome fibromyalgia flares, and that would increase my possibility of being found properly there. And then the description would be the same. Don't go for kilometers of description. Use the 140. The keywords you would use, wow, client keywords, everybody's in here, and my own, that's cool too. So with keywords, you'd find keywords that you've got. Let's find some. And you'd find keywords. These are all keywords I've collected for some reason long ago, recently, I have no clue when. And you would choose the 10 from in there that you like, and you'd pop them in there. I'm going to be teaching you, actually no, let's rephrase that. I should have taught you to do groups of keywords already. So you would do this keyword research, then you would group them in bunches of keywords as per your categories. Yeah, and so you'd group all the pain keywords together, all the help keywords together, all the solution keywords together, all the medical, you know what I mean, the medicine keywords, whatever. And then you'd have 10 keywords that you could just copy paste easily and quick when you publish. Right, sorry, my bad, we're getting there. Custom fields, you don't need that. This is, for me, it's because I've got a subscription site. I've set this so that everybody, I can change this if I like, everybody can see it free, because I don't want people to have to be a member. Now here we go. Finally we get to document, SSO, social and search optimization, right? So the schema type is blog posting schema, blog posting default, open graph, article. Can you see? It's locked, but it shows article. That's good. It looks like it's going to possibly, this is so cool if it does, publish it for me. Can you see it shows it light? So it's not in there, but the word is actually in there. So in other words, it's going to pre-fill the text from, probably, I'm very proud to announce the fibromyalgia. Let's go and see. I'm very proud to announce here, it's dragged the description section. So what you write there is what it's going to pop into your snippets, right? You can preview. Oh, let's go and preview it. No open graph image found. There we go. So, whoops. So what you do here, this is all good. This is good. So I'd go back to wherever the back to was. Customize, and I would find where they want me to add an image. I'm so sorry, that's my interesting, there's no image markup, so I probably haven't set it in the settings. More than likely in the settings have to ask it to use my featured image, which again, if I do that, I have to watch that it doesn't pin that for me. Remember, when you pin the thing, you want your image to be pinned, right? This is the image you made as a pin. You don't want the image on your website to suddenly become your pin. So I'm telling you, double check it. Do as I say, don't do as I do. So let's just go back to the settings here and have a look at media, and you'll find that you might find it's this simple. Site title, WordPress. Oh, my bad, I'm in the wrong settings. I need to be in the WS. Oh, anyway. So down here in SSO settings, setup guide, dashboard. So here, somewhere along the way, I'm going to just pause this, see if I can find it. 1 second. Okay, so I did tell you that I'm doing this live and looking into it myself. So I don't want to make this a 1 hour video. I went to general settings, I scooted across to images, and in images I cannot see where I can just click use featured image. So I think it's going to ask for a default image, a standard image every time, and I can put the ID in here or I can select it. So I'm going to select that. I have very little promotional stuff in here yet. Oh, there's enough stuff, but considering I've got 400 pages, I'm quite amused. So I can put any of these. I'm going to click the Fibromyalgia Hero Ask Me Why image, which by the way might not be the correct size. So let's go and play and see. And there we go. So there's the code has appeared, and we go to save all plugin settings. Then I'm going to go back to wherever it was where I can test. Remember it said test. That would be lovely if I can get back there. So let's go and see one sec. The dashboard. I'm going to pause this again while I go back to where I was. 1 second. Okay, so I went back to my website page where it's done there, and I've found it. Here's the preview. One thing, still no open graph image. So I've got to find out what it's doing to me and why. I'll have to look that up. Sorry, yeah, one thing. It tells me to go and add. My bad, it wasn't there. So let's just go back to. I don't know what validate does. That's interesting. See, all social websites read open graph meta tags. So I'll validate that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's not play with that. But incidentally, it's the kind of thing that you want to make sure these are all. So there we go. Pinterest Rich Pins Validator. Ooh. On Pinterest, when it goes to Rich Pins, here we go, watch this. Type of Rich Pins. So if you have a product, article, or recipe content on your site, mark up these pages. So that's what we're doing, right? And then when you've done it, you ask these guys to do it as a validator. You got to validate it. Look at that. Cool. You can remove that one from that page. So if you go back to that page, right now I can go now and do this by validate rich pins. Let's have a look if it'll let me. So it's going to go into my Pinterest account. Oh, I see. It's just gone into there. So now I've just got to give them that page. Oh, well, what can I say? My rich pins are approved. So it obviously found it. And it's happy enough for that. But I want to go back, so let me get rid of that, and I can get rid of rich pins in here, and I have no idea what I'm doing here was the setting up for that. We're all on the same page. This I want to go and look into here. So give me a second. I'm just going to tidy up my chaos here. 1 second. Okay, so I've gone back to my plugins. If you look down here, there's the WP SSO core. Now I want to go one further, because, well, I can't help myself. I want to do add new up here. I'm going to give it a second to wake up, and then I'm going to ask it to do the WP SSO search. And now I'm going to find the schema markup one. So for rich results, rich snippets, etc. Structured data, articles, carousels. Oh my goodness, it's, to me, there's a very high chance, by the way. This is cool. The REST API, by the way, is if you do print on demand. So yeah, sorry, I just want to add before I go off here. It's all very well that I teach you how to do this. If you've got fibromyalgia and you've never done this before, stick to what I've done to this point. It shows up on Pinterest. Go ahead and make pins, and go ahead and promote your pins. Go ahead and do posts and images and stories and courses, rather than then spend a week in here frying your brain. Because that's what this boils down to. This is a fried brain syndrome comes out of this. This is where, and I get this all the time, because remember, this is my business. Is making sure I know everything for you. Now, very seldom do I then openly blurt out what and how I struggle through this myself, if I can phrase it like that. But basically, I would come in here, if I were working for a client, and I would test these one by one on my own website first, okay? So I would spend an entire day going through this, looking to see what it does. Here, I mean, the breadcrumbs thing, it's pretty cool. It's for better Google rich results, you see, with structured data. So I'm going to click install now while I'm chatting, okay? And then we're going to go to that in a second. And and then I go back to my website and have a look at what it caused. Now, I'm not even going to go back right now. In my way of doing this, and how I suggest you do it, is you do one at a time. So you go and have a look at that post and have a look at what they added to it. That's going to be like, what? No, thank you, you know. In fact, let's just do that quickly. I'm going to pause this and open that post again. Sorry, I've come back even while I'm at it. Just to prove that I haven't set this up properly yet. If you go to all posts, which now they list like this, watch this. It sets up the title, the author, hello, that's me, the categories. The author is whoever I am up here, right? The categories that I've put those in, which is important to do right, and I cover in the training. In fact, it's in one of the soon videos. The tags that I put on it, and then you can see when I've not tagged and I have tagged properly. So that's good there. Oh, look. So this one, I can go and look to see what I did different. There's an image, right? Because if you look here, the SSO image that I was battling to find is not showing up in these, but it is in this one. So I've done something to this post that I'm going to go and see if I can find the difference. Not now with you. I'm going to go and have a look. Schema shows it coming in under blog and posting. Now, when I publish on my, there's another one interesting with the infographic. I'm just going to have a quiz as to what I did. And another. So, I've no clue what strange image that is. In the snow, the springtime sight of oh, my bad. Alright, so let me pause this again while both of these pages open, and we'll discuss each of the things I was looking for. 1 second. Okay, remember I initially was coming here because I added a plugin down here, activated, give it a second, breadcrumbs, and I wanted to just see if it did anything weird or different, and it looks like it's still safe in there. It might have changed the settings, which I then go back through and redo. So I'm going to go to that. Right, and then the other one, this one, whether it shows an image or not, should be interesting. So give it a second to wake up. This was the page it was showing. So it's pulling that from the top. And I just want to see if I've done something down here that added an image or an image validation. Interesting that my settings are similar as I can see at a glance. Preview changes. So it's, for some reason it's pulled that image. All I can tell you is fiddle with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to plugins. So as not to waste too much of your time, I'm going to go back to add new. I'm going to search for the other rich one. So that was the WPSSO was where we were going. We've now got active number 1. We've got active number 2. You can look at this one that does share social sharing buttons. I don't need to worry about that. I've got a plugin for it. It's called, I think it's either Bloom or, well, anyway, I'll find people don't share it. You can add the pin plugin, by the way, the pin it, so it puts a little pin button on your images. I would rather they didn't click share and bail off my site. Here we go. I want Google rich snippets, rips, blah, 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 structured data for local businesses, articles, carousels. Install now. Now, as I said, take care that you don't cause far too much work for yourself, that you end up with this like huge blister and end up in a flare watching back issues of Friends simply because, well, everything got too hard. I'm trying to help you get started here and not force you to watch 30-minute videos on how to just add the WPSSO and fix all the settings. On that note, let me bail out of here. I'm going to take a bit of time to go and do these settings now because I don't want to come back because I'm likely to forget. So I'm going to go in now. I can tell you now it's going to take me a while because it's asking for things that I've got to look up, like my Instagram page name and like my, that kind of thing. And I'm going to do it all and it'll be done. I'm going to get to the next video with you guys. Cool.